Campbell, host of BBTV. I'm coming to you from Barbara Campbell NYC Design Studio. And I have a special guest with us here in the studio. It's N.Lawrence. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for having me.
Yes. I want to start with you and talk a little bit about your whole story. You have danced with Alvin, Ailey Dance Company and attended the Martha Graham School of Dance in the 70's and 80's. And those are the two of the best dance school company in America dance history. Tell us a little bit about your experience with those two New York dance groups.
Well, Barbara, I got to the Ailey School in 1978. Got to the Ailey School in 1978, and Mr. Ailey had originally founded the company in 1958, so they were 20 years in the making when I got there. And when I got there, it was rich. It was just so rich with talent. Many of my instructors, many of my teachers were former members of his first company. I've studied with Pearl Lang. I studied with Denise Jefferson, who was the director of the Ailey School, and I actually assisted her in teaching her the modern dance class. So that was an invaluable experience because she was indeed my mentor. And I also got to study with Dr. Pearl Primus, a West African Dunham technique dancer, James Truitt, who was an original member of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Center, as well as some core principal dancers who were in his company at the time. For instance, Sarita Allen, I studied under her. Wow. And that was a wonderful experience because we all admired Sarita. She was a force to be reckoned with at that time. Yes.
Oh my God. Well, I want to ask you a question. Who were your role model as a young aspiring dancer?
You know something, first and foremost, it was Mr. Ailey. He was the pièce de résistance, for me. He was it. He was everything that I aspired to do and to be. And then, as I said before, Denise Jefferson, she was invaluable in my training. And she gave me a solid technical training in the Martha Graham technique, which allowed me to segue to the Martha Graham School after I left the Ailey School. So Denise Jefferson, who was the director of the Ailey School, and also people like Charles Moore, who had his own dance company at the time. I studied West African dance with him, and he was a dance grade. He really was. He was a dance grade, as well as Mary Hinkson, who was a Martha Graham trained dancer, and I did a intensive workshop with her, and we were all very grateful. We were all so grateful to have that experience afforded to us at that point in time.
Wow, it's amazing. I want to thank you for being here, first of all, making that time to tell us your story. I want to also ask you, what are your favorite dance techniques?
Oh gosh, where do I start? I love ballet. I love ballet because ballet is the bread and butter of any dance technique. That's the foundation. So I love ballet. And I love modern dance, particularly the Martha Graham technique, which is what my specialty was. I love Martha Graham technique, and I also love the Horton technique. So Martha Graham, Horton technique, ballet.
What is the difference between one and the other?
Well, Martha Graham technique is really based on floor exercises. Miss Graham, she took a lot of indigenous movement, sitting or indigenous exercises, sitting on the floor, breathing exercises, the spiral around the back, the contraction and release. Those were the cores of her technique. And also I loved Dunham technique, which is a blend.
I read that.
Yes, Dunham technique, which is patterned after Catherine Dunham. And she used Afro-Caribbean dance as well as African dance to synergize her technique. And that was one of the things that really strengthened my body, was learning the African dance, because I had this one teacher, Papa, I have to tell you about it. I had this one teacher.
Tell us.
Oh gosh, her name was Joan Peters. And she'd come in the studio and she'd have her stick.
Oh my, yes.
And she'd be pounding the stick and the drums would be going, and she'd get us in there, and it was blood, sweat, and tears. It was blood. It was blood, sweat, and tears, but it was just like a enjoyable pain.
Right.
You know, it was a pain that
getting that best out of you.
She really brought the best out of us, and she would make us hold position. She'd be like, and hold, and hold, and hold, and hold, and hold.
Gosh.
You know, but we made it through, and we were all better for it.
Well, big shout out to all the teachers, all the dance teachers. It's such an experience. I mean, you have to come back and talk a little bit more about all these techniques and maybe show us a little preview.
No.
But I want to move along, and I do want to ask you another question. Okay. What advice would you give young dancers here coming up in New York and around Brooklyn and all around the world?
You know, if you have a dream, plant that seed. Plant that seed, nurture it, water it, exercise it, and hold fast to it. Really, hold fast to your dreams.
You heard that?
Don't give up.
Hold on to the dream and don't give up. I love that.
Just around the corner.
Oh, see, when you thinking of giving up, it just changes.
Yeah. But
now you've been in the dance industry for many years.
Yeah, I've been since I started in 1978, and I basically took a hiatus for at least 13 years because I wanted to do other things. I wanted to have a family. It's not like it used to be, you know, where you could really make your bread and butter off of dance. You know, that struggling artist syndrome back then was really very true. It's real, folks.
There's more opportunities now.
But now there's more opportunities and
more dance houses.
There's more opportunities and more opportunities for life after you stop physically dancing. You know, you can go into videography, you can go into choreography, you can go into you can teach,
endless,
body conditioning. You know, there's just so many things that you can do after dance. Writing. It's important to have, you know, that piece of paper. Get that document. Get your BA. Get your MFA.
Stay in school.
Stay in school. Those things are very, very important, and they give you length to your careers.
Wow. Well, I wanted to mention two things. The legacy of dance in the late 70s and 80s, and having more opportunities that we have, like now we have tech and health and scholarship and grants and everything else. And in the 70s and 80s, would you say that those opportunities were there?
They were there, but the pickings were few. The pickings were slim, you know, but today there's more money. There's definitely more money, and dancers have more vehicles to keep their instrument fine-tuned.
Wow.
You know, back in the day, you know, we didn't have physical therapy and health insurances when when your knee goes out, when your ankle goes out, your shoulder goes out. You know, we didn't have those things, but today dancers, you know, they have those opportunities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Healthy and strong.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still here.
I really want to ask you more questions. I think we're going to have a part 2 to this. Having N.Lawrence here on Brooklyn Beauty Television, BBTV, speaking about Alvin, Ailey dance company, and he is a, as you mentioned before, you are the first generation of the whole creation of the dance company of Alvin Ailey.
Yeah, so I won't say that we were the first generation. What I can say about that is Mr. Ailey started the school in 1958. I got to the school in 78. So we are like the children of that first generation.
Wow.
So basically, Mr. Ailey is really, if he were alive today, he'd be the same age as my mom.
Wow.
You know, he'd be the same age as my mom and my dad. And so we are like their children. So we learned directly from that first generation of Ailey dancers. Mr. Ailey, Judith Jameson, James Truitt, as I said before, Mary Hinkson, Pearl Lang, Martha Graham. All of those people were, they set the foundation for what modern dance is today. And we learned directly from them. I mean, when I was at the Ailey, even at the Ailey school, Mr. Ailey would come into class and it was like a 5-star general came in there. Everybody, pulled up and stood at attention. And when I was at the Martha Graham school, I mean, Martha was getting on in age at that point, and they would wheel her in her wheelchair.
Wow.
And we sit around her, and she'd tell us stories.
Oh,
like we were like her little grandchildren. She'd tell us, stories about what it was like when she was coming up in dance. So, I really had some really good experiences and just positive motivation, as being a young dancer at that point in time.
That is amazing and fantastic. I'm just so thrilled that you're here and that you can share this story with all the young up-and-coming dancers, and really listen to the video and listen to the words that we've heard from N.Lawrence here today. I also want to ask you, my last question is the one I ask all my guests on the show. What do you love about Brooklyn?
Oh gosh, Brooklyn is the heart and soul of the 5 boroughs.
Oh, wow.
It is the heart and soul of the 5 boroughs. Brooklyn has everything, and there's something for everyone.
That's true.
There's something for everyone. So come on down to Brooklyn, go to the museum, go to the library, go to the parks, go to the free activities in the library, the free activities in the summer, from Coney Island to downtown Brooklyn. Gotta come to Brooklyn.
You got it all here in Brooklyn.
Got it all.
Oh my God, N.Lawrence, it's such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It really is.
It was truly an experience learning a little bit about the dance companies in the 70s, 80s, being a dancer in that era and being here to talk about it. It's been a pleasure having you here on television BBTV.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
I want to ask you, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that we have summed it up. I think that we have summed it up. But lastly, again, for young dancers out there, hold fast to your dreams. I know it's a very, very competitive world, and there's always the next best, but there's a place for you in the dance world with your passion in the arts as a dancer. Hold fast to your dreams, kids.
Well, you heard it here first on Brooklyn Beauty, television, BBTV, television, BBTV. We have N.Lawrence. Thank you. Yes. We look forward to chatting with you again. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. We'll see you on the next minute. Thank you for watching on television BBTV. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Till then, you better stay in Brooklyn. Hold tight to your dream, right, Lawrence?
Hold fast to your dreams. Hold fast to your dreams.
Bye.